Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk about 10 products that I used during my first trimester to help me get through the first trimester. If you watched my first trimester recap video, then you know I struggled with a lot of different things during my first trimester, from morning sickness and nausea to extreme exhaustion to acne. Also, I ended up getting a cold at the end of my first trimester, and I also had some cramping, so I kind of dealt with a lot of different symptoms during my first trimester, and I ended up having to buy a few things to help me get through it. So I figured I should go ahead and spill the tea, share this information with anybody else out there that is maybe struggling a little bit with their first trimester, some of those symptoms that I just mentioned. Or if you just like hearing about pregnancy stuff, products, and all of that, then stick around. This video is going to be hopefully an interesting and helpful one for you guys. So first off, let's talk about nausea. I pretty much had nausea from like week 6 until like week 15. So through beginning of the second trimester as well. So there were a few things that I did for this. The first product I wanted to talk about are these nausea bands. Actually, I posted a video, I think it was maybe like a Q&A style video that I shared with you guys, and I was wearing these during it, and there were a few times when I was editing where I was like, you can actually see them kind of on my wrist, but nobody said anything, so whatever. But basically all this is little wristbands, and they look like this. And you just put them on your wrist, like right about there, kind of like a little bit lower than your actual, like where it bends. And you want this little button thing to be pushing on. There's like a pressure point right here. Listen, I don't know if it worked. It may have just been like a placebo effect, but I was like, I will do anything right now to feel less nauseous. So I gave these a shot, and I felt like they worked pretty well, but you know, again, it could have just been placebo. But if you're really struggling with nausea, I would say it's worth a shot. The next product that actually I think helped me a ton are these Gin suckers, candies, whatever. I was taking multiple of these like per hour because these actually helped me a ton. Ginger is supposed to be really good for like settling your stomach, so I just popped these in my mouth anytime I was feeling extra nauseous, and they really did help me a lot. My sister-in-law also sent me these, which I'm just kind of throwing in the same category, but they're Huggy Pop Drops, and they're just like different flavors, and they're just like a hard candy that you suck on. In general, I read that having something that you're like sucking on, whether it be like a hard candy, chewing gum, stuff like that, having something like in your mouth does help with the nausea a little bit. So give one of these a try if you are struggling with nausea. But overall, I like highly recommend this one. This one helped me the most. And one more thing for nausea is mint tea. So again, I just mentioned I saw somebody on TikTok post about like chewing mint gum really helped them a lot, and pretty much anything that's like peppermint does help a lot with nausea, and I just happen to already have mint tea in my pantry, so I just went ahead and had some mint tea. So if you are really struggling with nausea and you're looking for, you know, extra things that you can do, I would recommend checking out a peppermint tea as well. So those are all of my key products for nausea. I've heard you can take B6 to help with nausea. Make sure you're eating lots of small meals throughout your day. That'll just help with the nausea a little bit. Personally, I was feeling really nauseous when I was really hungry, so by just making sure I always had something in my stomach, I was able to keep the nausea at bay. Those are just a few tips, but of course, if you are like really struggling with it, like call your doctor. The next major pregnancy symptom that I was really struggling with was exhaustion, and I was taking a lot of naps, you guys. So I have to highly recommend a sleep mask. I am obsessed with my sleep mask. I wear it every night to bed as well, but in order to get like a high quality midday nap, which I personally did like every single day, sometimes twice a day during my first trimester. So let me tell you, for those midday naps, having an eye mask is gonna be clutch, because at least for me, I personally struggle falling asleep during the day when it's really bright out. And of course, I live somewhere where it's like very bright and sunny pretty much every day. And I also just have to say that this helps me in general get like better quality sleep just at nighttime. So that ultimately helps me feel a little bit less tired during the day. But yeah, I highly recommend a sleep mask. Obviously, you can get a nicer one. This one I think is just like 20 bucks on Amazon. But I will link, of course, everything that I'm talking about here, pretty much everything I got from Amazon. So a sleep mask, highly recommend it if you don't use one. All right, so next first trimester symptom that drove me absolutely crazy was getting acne. I actually never struggled with acne leading into pregnancy, and so it was a very new, well, I struggled with acne when I was like 15, but it's not something I've had to deal with for years. So I was trying to figure out like anything I could to clear up my skin. And of course, like diet, water, all of those things are gonna help clear up your skin, but at a certain point it is hormonal. So I was doing all of the things that I could with like like skincare and all of that, doing face masks and just making sure I was following my skincare routine every single day. But one thing that actually really helped with blemishes and pimples that popped up randomly, especially like on my face, are these pimple patches. And I actually really liked these. I felt like they were really good quality. It comes with 96 patches, so I felt like that was a lot, and I actually did feel like they helped reduce the size of the pimple overnight. So you basically just stick it right on the pimple overnight, sleep with it on, and in the morning hopefully it's gone down a little bit. Like I said, I personally felt like these did help with just like reducing the appearance, the size of the pimple, but of course, like I said, you know, you're gonna need to focus on diet, water, and your skincare routine ultimately, but these do help a little bit with just like managing the size of them. Okay, next symptom that I dealt with a lot, you guys, I talked about this in my first trimester recap video as well, was anxiety. And one thing that was actually really fun for me, I did buy these like monthly photo, they're called like monthly photo props, but it just has like how far along you are. And because I was really struggling with anxiety, I do feel like these helped me just like have something positive to look forward to, if that makes sense. So of course, like everyone's different, not everyone wants to be like, you know, taking tons of pictures of their bump, but I would say if you are struggling with anxiety, of course, first of all, talk to your doctor about it, but find little things that you can do throughout your pregnancy to help you have like things to look forward to, milestones to be excited about, and that type of thing. And for me, this was one of the things that I bought because I knew I wanted to like document my bump and be excited about the growth of my bump. All right, next product, you guys, is this Burt's Bees Belly Butter. I actually got this for Christmas and started using it around that 12-week mark, so towards the end of my first trimester. But this is basically supposed to really moisturize your skin and help with like reducing stretch marks. So this is something that I actually was looking into getting as I started to grow and started to get a bump, because of course I don't want to have stretch marks. Nobody wants stretch marks, but some of the other ways you should really focus on not getting stretch marks is by staying hydrated. That'll help your skin be more elastic, and again, keeping it moisturized. So that will help a lot with stretch marks. So my sister actually got me this for Christmas, and I've been using it twice a day. Like just when I do my skincare routine, I'm putting it all over, like hips, stomach, the girls, all of those areas. Hopefully it helps be preventative. I haven't gotten any stretch marks yet, so far it's working. Next struggle I got during my first trimester was getting a cold, which I'm still battling. Came at the end of my first trimester, but what sucks, and you'll learn this, is like if you do get a cold or headache or whatever, there's not very much medicine that you can actually take to help with it. So there's some stuff you can take to like loosen mucus, like Mucinex or Robitussin, but you can't take like cold medicine. There's not very much you can take for congestion. So I am obsessed with these nasal strips. I'm the type of person where if I can't breathe while I'm sleeping or like at nighttime, I get the worst sleep of my life. So I've always taken these when I get sick, but normally I would take like NyQuil or something like that to help with congestion, and obviously you can't take NyQuil. So I started using these at night when I got sick, and it seriously, like, I cannot tell you enough that these truly help like open up your nasal passages and help you breathe, which ultimately then like helps me sleep better, which then helps me like get better for the sickness. So if you are struggling with any congestion and not sure what else to do and you haven't tried these yet, like I highly recommend them. You can get these just at like your grocery store or Target or whatever, but I'm sure they have them on Amazon too, which I will find a link to down and put it down below. Okay, and the last kind of symptom that I dealt with a lot in the first trimester is like cramping and actually round ligament pain. So if you're not sure what round ligament pain is, you're not sure if that's what you're experiencing, basically there's a ligament that runs from your uterus down to your groin, and it gets very stretched out during pregnancy, which can be like very painful. So I experienced a lot of that, and I didn't realize that's what it was at first, but I also did experience cramping a lot, and I did ask my doctor about it. He said it was very normal. Like your uterus is growing to a crazy size that it's never been before, so you're gonna get cramping. It's gonna hurt sometimes, and one thing that you can use for that is a heating pad. Okay, don't make fun of my heating pad, but it's just a microwavable heating pad, and actually I do recommend a microwavable option more so than like the ones that you turn on and off, because you're really only supposed to use a heating pad if you do for like 10 to 20 minutes, because you just don't want it to get like too hot on your, you know, on your uterus. So I did use it on my lower back as well sometimes if I had like cramping in my back. Either way, a heating pad, highly recommend having one of these handy. And again, I do recommend a microwavable one because it does like cool naturally on its own, just because it's microwavable versus one that like has an on and off switch. You definitely don't want to use it for too long. But this has been super helpful for cramping, and that's basically it. But let's talk a little bit more about round ligament pain, and that brings me to my 10th product, pregnancy pillow. Okay, so I have the Mom Cozy Pregnancy Pillow. You guys, this thing is amazing. And this has really helped with the round ligament pain, I have to say, because a lot of times when I was experiencing the round ligament pain was like changing positions in bed or getting up out of bed. Those were when it was like really triggered. And when you have the pregnancy pillow, it kind of like you're laying in between it. It helps support like your back and your stomach. And also I've like learned to not just like sit up out of bed. I have to be on my side and like push myself up. But the round ligament pain is super normal, but the pregnancy pillow really has helped me with that. I know typically like people don't use the pregnancy pillow until they have like a good sized bump, because it really helps support the bump and all that. But you know what? I got it early and I found it to be helpful even in my first trimester. So, I mean, you gotta do what is helpful and what's working for you. And if it helps, then use it. But yeah, you guys, those are my top 10 products, things that really helped me get through the first trimester, from nausea, fatigue, acne, getting a cold, struggling with cramping and round ligament pain. It's funny because I know some people have like the easiest pregnancy. They have like 0 symptoms. They don't get nauseous at all. They're maybe a little bit tired, but not too bad. They don't get acne or whatever. And you know what? More power to those people. I am jealous of you, and that's amazing. If you don't have very many symptoms, like that's great. But I had like all of the symptoms, so I wanted to share obviously the things that helped me get through it and made my first trimester a little bit easier. So hopefully you found this helpful, interesting, useful. Let me know down in the comments if you did, if you like these like product reviews or product recommendations to help make pregnancy easier. I would love to do this kind of for each trimester, or like even things I'm buying for the nursery. Once I have a baby, I'd love to share like newborn essentials and that type of thing. So please do let me know if you found this helpful, interesting, etc. That is it, you guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, and if you're new here, I would love for you to stick around. I'm posting all sorts of pregnancy content, hopefully soon mom content, and in between I like to post a lot of kind of like healthy, wealthy, girly type of videos, cleaning, being productive, healthy habits, and things like that. So if that's of interest, make sure you hit the subscribe button and stick around. But that is it, you guys, and I will catch up with you next time.